Have you ever felt overwhelmed by lawn care terms, fertilizer labels, or all that fancy advice flying around online? Well, trust me, you're not alone. But here's the deal. You do not need a PhD to grow a lawn that you can be proud of. You just need the right habits, a little bit of patience, and some solid guidance. In this episode, we're going to simplify things, cut through the confusion, and tell you how you can build a green, healthy lawn without overthinking it. So whether you're just getting started or you've been at this for a while, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Lawns and Life Podcast, where DIYers go to get the tips and advice they need to have a great looking lawn. Well, hey there, lawn lovers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Lawns and Life Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of DIY lawn care. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned veteran looking to polish your skills, we have got something for everyone. In each episode, I break down simple, easy to understand topics that will empower you to achieve your dream lawn. My name is Devin. I am the DIY lawn coach, and thank you so much for coming back for another week. So I have a question for you. Do you have to be a chef to make a great steak? Do you have to be an ASE certified mechanic to change the oil in your car? And I think the answer to both of those is, of course not. And so today I want to talk about how we balance the science of lawn care with how we just enjoy it as a hobby. So I hope you'll stick around to listen to that. I hope you guys have had a great week. Thank you so much for coming back for another week. It has been incredibly hot here as we continue to just burn up. It's heat indexes of 103, but I think we're getting some relief this weekend. We're going to get into the mid 70s. We're going to get some rain. So certainly looking forward to that. Hope you guys are just hanging on. That's really what we're doing in the lawn these days, is just kind of hanging on. Especially us cool season folks, we're just bring on fall, just bring it on. But before we get into the meat of the podcast, let's do this week's mindful moment.
It can be hard to slow down and notice things in a busy world. Mindful moments is where we pause for a moment to reflect on the here and now. After all, life is happening now. We simply need to take time to notice. These small yet profound experiences remind us that life is not about the destination, but the journey we take to get there.
So I'm actually recording this episode about a week before you guys will actually see it. And I'm going to be, when you guys are actually watching this, I will be in St. Lucia on vacation with my beautiful wife and some of our friends. We are not taking any of our children, which I am so looking forward to. No kids, just adults. There's going to be some adult beverages, some little drinks with the little straws in them, and we're just going to relax. We're going to play some golf. We've got a couple spa days planned. Man, I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm off on vacation, as I just mentioned. So this week's mindful moment. This week, I found out that my neighbor died, and it's really kind of hit home a little bit, especially for my 16-year-old. And so we've lived in this house for about 5 years now, and you know, when you have a neighbor, I don't typically get too close to my neighbors, but this one lives right next door, and you know, he and I have had a lot of conversations about, you know, helping him improve his lawn. And so he was actually one of the first clients that I took on for my lawn coaching business. He's a lawyer and has been in law for as long as I can remember. I think he's like 74 years old. So he's been in law since he graduated college. And he and I have had a lot of conversations about my son and you know, just some of the challenges. His kids are grown, and so we've just had a lot of conversations, not only about grass, but just life and teenagers and things that I'm going through that he's already been through. And we had talked about letting my son mow his grass, as just kind of give him some responsibility and be really good for him. And so he's been doing that. So we've grown fairly close. And I found out this week that he suddenly died. He passed away. He had a stroke, and we were completely caught off guard. He had no signs, symptoms, or anything. He just, I guess his wife said he wasn't feeling well, maybe some dizziness and disorientation, that sort of thing. Called an ambulance, and then on the way to the hospital, he didn't make it. So incredibly sad. I put a post out for you guys, just kind of letting you guys know, and I really appreciate all the kind words that you guys in support. Death is hard. Death is it's hard to deal with. But I guess this week's mindful moment is like, why does God allow these things to happen? Like he was a good guy. He wasn't doing anything wrong that I know of. But then it got me thinking, like, so why does God allow these things to happen? And the reason why I believe these things happen is because without it, we would take relationships for granted. Like, I took the relationship with him for granted. I just assumed that he was going to be there today, tomorrow, in a week, a month. And I take my kids for granted, and I take my wife for granted. I take my own life for granted. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm afraid of death. I'm not afraid to die, but I think the relationships that we build while we're here on this earth are what's really important. And so knowing that he's gone is just a reminder that, we have to cherish the time that we are with people. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. I'm just as guilty as the next guy about getting mad at my wife or getting upset at my children. And, I think this lesson for me really hits home because without it, I'm less likely to forgive my kids or to be kind to them when things are happening. Not because I'm afraid they're going to die, but just because the time that we have is finite, right? Like, it's going to run out, and I don't know if that's going to be tomorrow or later today or next month or 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. But God has planned it that way so that I don't take things for granted. And I'm just reminded of that this week. And so I really wanted to make that this week's mindful moment. I think I'm a firm believer that God works all things through the good. And the way I view this, for me, I know my neighbor's wife is suffering. She's in a lot of pain. She lost her best friend. All our kids are grown and gone. It was just the two of them. And I know she's in a tremendous amount of pain. And I'm praying for her that she gets some relief. But the way I look at it is it's just a reminder for me to be appreciative of what I have and know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And I would encourage you, whatever situation that you're in, if you take that approach, that it could be life-changing. So that's this week's mindful moment. So there is no doubt that lawn care can be overwhelming, right? Like, you turn on YouTube or you do a quick Google search and there's thousands of opinions about what the right way to do something is versus, maybe the way a guy's been doing it for 25 years. There's a couple hundred YouTube channels, lawn care YouTube channels now. Everybody from, DIYers to professionals to there are turf scientists out there. There are golf course superintendents that are offering up their advice on what they feel like is the right thing. Some will say that soil pH is something that's really important. And then on the flip side, somebody will say soil pH, it's not really as important as you think it is. Or, hey, if you've got tall fescue, you have to mow it at this height. And then somebody comes along and says, well, look at my lawn and I don't mow at that height, and look at the results that I'm getting. What's the best fertilizer? Like, do you water it in? Do you not water it in? So it can be very overwhelming, especially if you're new to lawn care, you're just kind of getting started. And so that's really why I wanted to take a minute and just kind of talk about, do you have to be a scientist? Like, do you have to understand everything there is to know about lawn care to have a really nice lawn? I don't believe that you do. I think that if you, knowledge is power, right? So the more you know, the more of an educated, decision you could make about maybe what's best, understanding the why behind it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Matter of fact, I would encourage that. Rather than just applying fertilizer, understanding why you're doing it. I think that that's great, but I don't think you have to go, become a turf pathologist to be able to know when to apply a fungicide, right? So before we get too far down the road here, I just want to say that I think it's really important, whether you're a professional or not, that we are doing what's right for the environment, for ourselves, for our pets, because at the end of the day, the things that we are applying to our lawn can not only harm us, they can harm our neighbors, they can harm our pets, our children. They can affect waterways and lakes and rivers and streams. And so I think one of the major concerns of the professional side, and I 100% agree with it, is that you've got all these DIYers out here just kind of going rogue and like the wild, wild west, just throwing stuff here and there and recommending this fungicide and that fungicide and this herbicide and this pesticide, and not knowing what they're doing. And I completely see where that would be of some concern. You've got maybe a lawn influencer recommending this product that could potentially harm them. So I think it's important that you as an individual take a personal responsibility to make sure that you are reading your labels, making sure you're applying things at the right rates, properly identifying a fungus or a pest or whatever it is. That's something that I have really grown over my years, become more mature with integrated pest management, which basically says that I'm not going to apply anything to my lawn unless it's going to be of detriment to my primary crop, which in this case is going to be my turf grass, my grass. And that's come with time. I know when I first got into this, I wasn't properly identifying a fungus. I was just applying a fungicide just to, and that's honestly, that's irresponsible of me to have done that. And as I've matured, I've gotten a lot better. I apply a whole lot less products now than I ever have, and I'm getting better results because of it. And I think it's important, especially as a YouTuber, as somebody who is influencing, or somebody's watching a product that I'm putting down, that I am responsible and doing it responsibly. And then you as the viewer or the listener are also taking that responsibility and taking it seriously. So yes, understanding the science in that aspect would be very important. But at the end of the day, lawn care is incredibly simple. We make it more complicated, I think, than it really needs to be. But that's the fun of it. I think going down the rabbit hole sometimes is fun. I'm into guns as well. So the great debate in guns is it what's the best caliber? Is it 45? Is it 9? Is it 40? Is it 22? Is it 38? Which gun is the best? I'm a Glock guy, so is it 17? Is it 19? Is it 40? And that's really, that debate. It's kind of like lawn care is kind of what makes the hobby fun. Not everybody has to do the same thing or buy the same product or do it the same way. And now the science will say one thing, but we don't have to. We as DIYers don't necessarily have to follow that. We can kind of do what we want. We're not beholden to the same rules. Again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, it's still important that we make sure we're doing things the right way. We're not applying fungicide improperly. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is, the science says, hey, you can only apply this much fertilizer in a year. Well, maybe what happens if I apply a little bit more or a little bit less? Right? So we can go and have fun with it, because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to understand the why behind something, the science behind it. I think that that's great. Matter of fact, I would encourage that. I'm the type of person, I love learning new things. I think going down the rabbit hole is sometimes a good thing, but sometimes you get paralysis by analysis. So you almost become paralyzed by trying to make the right decision when it's really ultimately probably not that important to begin with. Again, lawn care is really simple: mow, water, and feed. But again, what makes it fun is trying to determine what the right height to mow is, or what the best grass type is, the best cultivar is, what's the best way to feed it. Is it granular? Is it liquid? Science will say one thing, and the DIYer or the professional who has experience will maybe say another. But I still don't believe that you have to understand the inner workings or how something works all the time. But again, it would be of benefit to you to understand the why behind it, because that will help you make a more informed decision as to maybe the type of fertilizer that you're putting down or the amounts, right? It's all education, and that's what makes it fun. So in case you didn't know, the scientific study of plants, their classification, the economic importance, that is called botany. And there are specific areas of study as well. There's turf pathology, which is just the study of pathogens in plants, their health, and how they're affected. You become a turf agronomist, which is the study of turf grass management for maybe sports fields. So if you wanted to go into become a turf agronomist and work for the, say, Atlanta Braves and learn how to manage their turf, that is all well and good. That is the science behind it. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't believe as a DIYer that you have to know the ins and the outs. At the end of the day, I want more people in this industry, not less. And so sometimes the science behind something kind of pushes people away. It intimidates them. And I don't want that. Like, I want people to experience the joy, the satisfaction that I get from lawn care. And do you need to understand how magnesium works in a plant? No. Do you need to understand the role of every micro nutrient inside of a plant and how it works and what makes it helpful? No, you don't need to know that. But there's nothing wrong with learning it. Again, lawn care is a hobby. It's meant to be fun. Let's enjoy it. But you can certainly take a deep dive. It could be challenging sometimes to know what the truth is or what's not the truth. I use my mind and I use my eyes to tell me. I look at how my lawn responds to certain things, and I take a mental note of that, and then I watch it and see how it reacts, and that's how I make my informed decisions. So I'm here to tell you that you do not have to be a scientist to have a nice lawn. And I hope maybe this takes a little bit of pressure off of your shoulders, that you just have to have the right mindset, just some habits like we talked about, the mowing, and a willingness to learn. And as you go, you'll build a lawn that you'll absolutely be proud of. So if this episode helped you in any way, really quick, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you share this as well, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you've ever got a question, feel free to email me, the DIYLawnCoach@gmail.com. Make sure you join my private Facebook page as well. It's a great resource. Make sure you answer the questions and agree to the rules. Again, the reason why I do that is just for those bots. I want to keep out some of the riffraff there, so make sure you do that. Love to have you. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, taking a listen, and as we kind of get ready for fall, let's get out there, let's enjoy things, let's hold on. We're almost there to the end, and let's keep chasing that beautiful lawn. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY Lawn Coach, and I can't wait to see you in the lawn.